regular meeting of the Board of Education. Today is September 26, 2023. We are super excited to be here. This, in fact, is the first in-school meeting of the year, and we're always super excited for these. They're the highlight of our meetings. We are all really excited also to be here at the Legacy Award-winning Leader in Me, Silver Springs. I'm sure we're going to hear more about that, but first and foremost, if you would all rise and I think join Ms. Booth and team in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, welcome tonight. We are all excited for the presentation from Silver Springs, but first we do have some orders of business, and I will first turn it over to Dr. Campbell-Voitel for our roll call, please.
All right. Well, we have to make sure we're all here. President Lindsay Wilson.
I'm here.
Vice President Sarah Prescott is going to be late, but she'll be joining us later. Treasurer Lisa McIntyre.
Here.
Trustee James Mazurek.
Here.
Trustee Karen Meyer.
Here.
Trustee Melissa Stewart.
Here.
And Secretary Kimberly Campbell-Voitel, myself, I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And we are also joined tonight by our superintendent, Dr. R.J. Weber.
Hello.
The central office leadership team, who I consider to be the best in the business. They're seated up front here. Next order of business is our adoption of our agenda. Dr. Campbell-Voitel.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to bring motion 24 that the board accept the agenda. Motion 23 that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Dr. Campbell-Voitel and supported by Mr. Mazurek. Any discussion on our agenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion passes. Thank you so much. That brings us to number 5 on our agenda. As you'll see, these are our consent resolutions. These are matters that we have taken into consideration either in previous board meetings or in subcommittees or amongst ourselves. They don't usually merit any discussion. That's why they're on our consent resolution. And again, I will hand it over to our secretary, Dr. Campbell-Voitel.
Thank you. So, Mr. President, I bring motion number 24 that the board accept these consent items for approval as presented. 5A, minutes of the September 12th, 2023 Board of Education meeting. 5B, overnight and out-of-state field trip requests. 1, the Hillside 7th grade trip to Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio on October 27th, 2023. Number 2, the NHS boys varsity tennis trip to Holland, Michigan from August 22 through 23, 2023. And then 3, the NHS and Hillside Women's Leadership Summit in Grand Rapids, Michigan from November 12th through 13th, 2023.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Dr. Campbell-Voitel and supported by Ms. McIntyre. Any discussion on these consent resolution items? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. The motion passes. Thank you again for that. That brings us quickly to number 6 on our agenda, our communications again. Dr. Campbell-Voitel,
Okay.
star of the night.
Well, so far. We, as the board, would like to acknowledge that we have had several communications to the MPS BOE at northvilleschools.org communication.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And that brings us to our superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, President Wilson. And you are actually first up on one of my favorite pieces of these meetings. And when I first was hired in at Moraine and saw this happening, it really grabbed me. But now that I've been here for over a year and seen it in action, these are above and beyond the Call of Duty Awards. And President Wilson, I believe you have the first person.
I do. Thank you so much. So is Miss Rickert here tonight by chance? She is not. So I actually had the pleasure of seeing Miss Rickert for the first time at the high school curriculum night. My daughter's actually in choir this year. This excellent ABCD award, and if you're wondering, ABCD stands for, as it says up there, above and beyond the call of duty. Anyone in the district can nominate staff, teacher for this type of award. This is something, as Dr. Weber said, we've been doing for a few years, and it's a really great way to recognize folks that are going above and beyond. So the first one here is Ms. Rickert. She is a choir teacher at the high school, and her nomination was brought forth by a student and parent. And I will read a little bit about an excerpt from the nomination. So Ms. Rickert is nothing short of a national treasure. Since the day I first met her my freshman year to now as a senior, she changed my life for the better. She's a warm light that radiates such motherly and friendly vibes to everyone who is fortunate enough to meet her. This past year, both of my choral groups were selected for all state choral performances. One was even selected in the top 4 in the state of Michigan. I truly believe she is the sole reason we were able to receive such a prestigious award. And that was seconded, those sentiments, by a parent in the district. And so I can't help but second that excellent, most deserving ABCD award to Ms. Rickert.
Okay, I am pleased to present the next one for Lizzie Peterson, who is one of our amazing school counselors at the high school. And I would say, for me, this is our 4th year. I did not make the submission, but I'm going to give my own little notes first, that we've had the pleasure of working with Miss Peterson for the past 3. This is our 4th year. And I think one of the things that she really brings to the district is conscientious focus on the big picture, the long-term picture, but also really what's happening in the here and now, that her ability to give her time and help when needed. I know that your caseload is not small, and the work is very hard. I was thinking about, we're also in Suicide Prevention Month, Suicide Awareness Month, and I think that Lizzie, along with her colleagues, are focused both on that suicide prevention piece and also helping kids get into their dream schools. So it is no small task to work on both ends of that spectrum, not alone as part of a team, but it's an essential part, and it's a gift that you bring to us. The parent who made the submission states that we feel extremely grateful to have Miss Peterson as our kids' school guidance counselor. She is always so generous with her help and time. We truly appreciate all the hard work and effort she has put in to support us. Her patience, compassion, caring, understanding, and knowledge have helped us in so many ways. We want to express our deepest thanks to Miss Peterson for being such an incredible counselor, and I would underscore that times 100 or more. Thank you, Lizzie.
Come on up. You earned it. Thank you so much. Yay. So you're bringing us home. Yeah, you are. You got it.
So I'll go next. Is Scott Shakaitis here from the high school? I do not see him. Not in the back? Okay. Anyways, let me go for it anyway. So I want to present an ABC award to Scott Shakaitis. He's a teacher at the high school in sciences, and actually know him quite well because my daughter was with him for at least 4 years, right? So this is actually from a student, and that's the greatest thing. It's one thing when parents or other people write, but when students write about a teacher, you know, it's comes from the heart. And so it's really long, so I'm going to skip some stuff, but I'll give you the highlights. This student writes, he's always very transparent with his students. He not only instructs, but he makes it appear as if the student and teacher are equals, establishing a sense of respect and trust in the classroom. His sense of interest in the subject also sparks the interest of his students. So when he pulls out multiple artifacts of invasive species, such as samples of green ash borers in a can or wood that's been damaged by a bug, it really gets the students involved. He goes above and beyond to arrange field trips for the students, which is the first I've seen in all my classes. Obviously, some effects of being out of school for COVID and that. He's an awesome teacher, and it continues on from there. Scott really is a great student, great teacher. He's probably a great student as well. But he really does get involved. He cares about his students, and I like to say if you have if as a parent you have Mr. Shakaitis, he even plays the good cop, bad cop role. He'll kind of ask you what's going on. He goes, what can I do to help out with the student in the classroom, right? And he really does. He cares about his students. He wants to see them good. He wants to see them do good in all of their classes. And so really, if there's a person who deserves this more, I don't know, but Thank you, Scott, for everything you have done in the past and everything you will continue to do.
All right, I'm up next. I have the pleasure of presenting the ABCD Award to Miss Zhang. Is she here tonight? No? She was nominated not by one student, not by two, but by 11 students. She teaches, I believe, Mandarin at the high school. And sorry, I got that wrong. She teaches Mandarin at Meads Mill and at Hillside, not the high school. So she was nominated by 11 students. I obviously have just the Cliff Note version of all 11, so I'll just read what I have here. She is the best teacher there is. Man, the first one out of the gate. Okay.
Teamwork.
We can mark that back down to 0 days since I cried at a board meeting. All right. She is amazing and always helps us and takes her time, gosh darn, to make sure we know what we're doing. She deserves every award there is. Let's see. She's really nice and caring for the entire classroom. She is always understanding and does lots of fun activities with us. So thank you, Miss Zhang.
Okay, I have the pleasure of getting to read about Miss Jen Fiedler. Is Miss Fiedler here? Okay, well, Miss Fiedler is a paraprofessional at Hillside in an ASD classroom, and I really appreciate this opportunity to get to do a shout out for a paraprofessional member of the staff. She was nominated by a colleague who says that she is one of the kindest and most dedicated individuals that I've had the pleasure of working with. She's incredibly knowledgeable, and she forms excellent relationships with her students that allow her to make great progress with them in the classroom. She's always going above and beyond to support her classroom teacher and her students. She's a team player and is always suggesting creative and helpful solutions to challenges that arise in the classroom. She believes every student is capable, and she is a positive and kind person to be around. So thank you very much, Ms. Fiedler, and congratulations on your ABCD award.
All right. So is Alini Vranos here? Well, I am delighted to be able to acknowledge that you have been nominated for an ABCD award and recognize just the enormity of what you offer our littlest learners who are just beginning their educational journey. And so your work is extremely important to how they progress for the rest of their years here with us. So the individual who made this submission on your behalf states the following. Some of our Rockets have had a bit of a struggle being back at school, with a fair amount of them needing extra support. Alini is the social worker at Ridgewood. I should have acknowledged that. Mrs. Vranos has been an absolute star. She helps them through all their struggles. She is patient, she is kind, and always tries to be there for everyone. She always makes the students a priority, no matter what, even if it means that she has to stay late to help everyone meet what they need that day. She is a true asset to Ridgewood, and she is appreciated by all of the students. So with that,
Wait, turn. One more picture.
All right, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Dr.
Thank
Weber.
you. And really a shout out to Aaron Boffman and his team and so many people who helped to put together the Victorian Festival. The months of work that go into that, but the joy seen on the kids' faces on that Friday morning when they're there is really something else. So, Mr. Boffman, if you could give us a brief report on how it all went.
We had a wonderful day on Friday. We took all the third graders downtown Northville, and we had 5 stations set up. They always go through the same 5 rotations. Weather was beautiful. We had more than 100 volunteers throughout the entire district. So the students started with the Victorian games down at Ford Field, and they had a chance to see the magician go up the square. Go to the next slide. Their storyteller at the Presbyterian Church, and our backseat troublemakers were singing Victorian songs at the Jennings Hole in the Wall. And then there was, of course, our historic tours at Mill Race, where we had a chance to see blacksmiths, some skits put on by high schoolers around the suffrage, around the Industrial Revolution, talking about the different things that were experienced back in those days. We're really appreciative to a lot of individuals. I have to start with my assistant, Therese Osterhoff. I cannot take credit for the amazing way this event turns out. It is Teresa's work that starts in April, all the way through to September to make this event happen. The coordination and details of every single piece of the festival is unparalleled. People do not understand the amount of paperwork. I was with Laura Giannetti on Friday at Giannetti's, and she said, you know, to get all this paperwork with all these colors and things on it, I don't know what half it means. Those are Teresa's directions and guidance and transportation routes and snack schedules and rotations and volunteers. It really is amazing. We're really appreciative of a lot of our friends and some of our retired staff, including folks like Jan Patel and Gabriels, Scott Corliss, and others who work tirelessly to make sure we have volunteers, to make sure that our historic sites are set up. They're ready to go. We appreciate Mrs. Rickard, who was recognized tonight, and her work with Backbeat Troublemakers. This group just came together, right? And so she has to get them ready for Victorian Festival in 3 weeks, because many of the students in Backbeat Troublemakers are in there for the very first time. So they start practices even before school starts. Our elementary PE teachers are down at Ford Field every year doing the Victorian games, giving it themselves to make sure kids have that opportunity. And of course, all behind the scenes work, traffic, direction, people making sure kids are safe, making sure everyone's going the right way. And Teresa's with Blue Line and the operations team at like 6:45 that morning. They're having donuts and talking about what has to happen. Lots of equipment has to be moved around the city very quickly and then picked up just as quickly so that life can resume for the rest of the city. So we appreciate all the many people that it takes and the hundreds of hours that go into making this event possible. And we just want to recognize those folks in the event. And it was a wonderful event. And I think our year we had the least amount of pitches of any year we had. So we're appreciative of everything. And we want to just let people know how grateful we are. It does not go unnoticed when that many people come out to volunteer.
Let's give him a hand, right?
Yeah. And Aaron would never. Oh, yes, sure, please.
It was absolutely an awesome event. The parade at the end just rocked it out as usual, right? I actually want to go out and make a couple extra thank yous. I want to thank the City Council for bringing us back to Victorian Festival from Heritage Festival. I mean, I get we like to do some changes, but I am happier than heck we're back to a Victorian Festival. And really all of the community members, right? The businesses downtown, like Laura Giannetti, right? But who volunteer their time and just make this thing happen for all the third graders. And I do have to bring up Mr. Rumbell, right? I think he's 52 years, 53 years, I don't know, but he was out there playing, he had the band playing before the parade started. They were practicing for about 35, 40 minutes. And they were rocking it just one after another, one song after another with, I mean, modern hits besides the old stuff. And he marched down that field. He had them rocking and rolling. It was the funnest thing to be in front of him while that was going on. Well, I do remember we had to keep a pace, otherwise there was going to be like
Oh,
there's going to be like
He wasn't
100 band
waiting.
members just overrun us during the parade. But what a great event! Thank you for City Council. Thank you for all the community members, the businesses who step up. It's just an awesome experience, and I've done this for a lot of years, and every single year it brings back that same kid feeling inside of me, and I hope it always does for you guys as well. Thank you.
We're sorry you shaved your mustache off.
I know.
We saw that Friday night.
I'm a little itchy.
Just to echo that point, Mr. Rumbell, and also the band. I mean, the band comes out, they're in their uniforms, marching at whatever time it was, 6, 7 o'clock at night on a Friday. And one of the songs that they played was Detroit Rock City by Kiss. It took 30 seconds to remember what that was, but that was the highlight for me. Anyway, good shout out right
I
there.
would
Yeah.
add the highlight too. There were so many people that came out to the parade, right? There's all the people in the parade, the band, and I really enjoyed seeing the community come together.
It was well
awesome.
attended.
And on that theme of celebration, this week is homecoming week. And if you want to go see an incredible halftime set, Aretha Franklin is who Mr. Rumbell chose, the 3 songs there. And if you listen to the Mustang Moments podcast that we had with him last year, he actually played trumpet for Aretha Franklin at her house for her birthday. So seeing then our kids perform her or anything from Detroit is incredibly special. So the homecoming week, we'll have another parade. The band's going to be there again. And then halftime, like keying on that, it's really beautiful. When I first arrived here, at the time, President Prescott said, RJ, our building principals are really, really good. They're really solid. And I couldn't sit here last year and say it with faith. You meet people, people, and so on. But now being here over a year, I can legitimately say that the privilege that we have with our building leadership in this district is stunning. I had never served as a teacher in a great building without a great principal. That's it. It's it's the straw that stirs the drink, if you will. You've got to have somebody who is there who can put it all together. Miss Booth, you wouldn't know this, but tonight she entertained the Board of Education and our Colt team in a data presentation. Then she seamlessly comes into here and does this. And that is really the life of each principal we have in this district. So in October, it's a month to celebrate our principals, and you'll be hearing more about that. And I've just got to say from the bottom of my heart how much I love each of them. They are genuinely stunning, and our kids are really, really, we are all really fortunate to have them at the helm. And then finally, Color My World organization of the high school did a color run for suicide prevention, and they did a wonderful job of that. Somebody once asked me, are you worried about our future? And you're about to see as President Wilson's going to introduce this next segment. No, I'm not. Our kids are amazing, and you're about to see it in real action right now. So thank you, President Wilson, and here we go.
All right. So before we get into this, I do want to just mention my favorite things about these meetings is the support that many of the other building leaders show, and some of our principals are in the back. So maybe let's just give them let's give them a round of applause. I love it when they show up, please. So that does bring us to number 8 on our agenda, our Silver Springs presentation, and I will turn it over to Ms. Booth and the Legacy Award winning Leader in Me Silver Springs students.
Good evening. Welcome to Silver Springs Elementary. We are so glad to have you here to see our amazing school. My name is Allison Baker, and I am a 4th grade leader in Miss Moncrief's class. We are really excited to tell you all about our school. First, Miss Booth would like to share something with you. Then we are going to tell you about all the things that we are most proud of at Silver Springs and the things that we would like to celebrate about the past year, which includes our Leader in Me Legacy Award. After that, we are going to visit some breakout sessions to learn more about our Peer Pals, Paw Patrol, and our amazing seeing tiles. We hope that you enjoy the evening. Now over to Mrs. Booth.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. We are really excited to have not only the board and our central office leadership team, but all of our families here as well. I cannot go without saying that there were 27 students that wanted to be a part of this presentation tonight, and all 27 of them are here in some capacity. So you're going to get in for a real treat in the breakout sessions and your tour guides and anything else. There's going to be plenty of kids around, so ask them any questions that you may want. And thank you, families, for sharing your leaders with us tonight.
Our mission statement at Silver Springs is to lead, grow, inspire. These are the words that we live by every day. At your seat, we have a gift for you that has our mission statement on it, as well as a reminder of our legacy word. We hope that you display this proudly so you can use it as a reminder to lead, grow, inspire in your own life. Lead, grow, inspire shows people what a leader means and what to work for.
Good evening. My name is Layla Rendell, and I am a fourth grade leader in Mrs. Murray's class. Next, I would like to introduce Mrs. Kate Rendell, who also happens to be my mom. She is our PTA president here at Silver Springs.
Thanks, Layla. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Booth. Little clicker. I'm going to scoot right this way if that's okay. I have to see all of the things at once. So as my daughter Layla said, I am Kate Rundell. I'm the president of the PTA here at Silver Springs. And I am just so thrilled to tell you a little bit about PTA. But I actually also want to talk about what PTA is a little bit, because there might be some people in our audience who kind of maybe have some stereotypes about what the PTA does. But before I jump in, there's some things you might notice on my slides, so I kind of want to introduce that a little bit. You've noticed a theme, perhaps, and the students are going to focus on that a little bit too. Every year at Silver Springs, and perhaps other elementary schools do this as well, but the students actually select a theme for the next year. And that theme just sets sort of all the fun activities, bulletin boards. It kind of just runs through everything we do all year. The students for this year voted and selected the theme of the 1980s. Now, this decade, for those who are not familiar, is a vintage time before cell phones and the internet. And the reason I want to mention that to you is, our PTA e-board happens to be perfectly on theme because we all grew up in the 80s. So we actually didn't have to do anything. We just embody that theme already. And so these are our board members this year. I know Patrick Rogers is present with us, and so is Devin Slackhead, our vice president and treasurer. We have Mindy Albertson, vice president as well, and Cassia Augustine, our secretary. So we have a full e-board this year. We're super lucky to have 5 people filling out this board. So like I said, I want to talk about what the PTA is, but I think it's important to also talk about what the PTA isn't. Now, there are a few people on our Board of Education who are far more seasoned than I am at talking about PTA. I mean, these are people who have served in leadership capacity at many different levels of PTA. So they know what this is. I'm preaching to the choir. But for anyone who maybe has a stereotype about the PTA still living in your mind, I want to tell you what it isn't. Here at Silver Springs, we are not about endless fundraisers. We don't do bake sales. We don't do, it's that concept of things all the time being a fundraiser. We certainly do try to raise money, but we try to put heavy emphasis on one fundraiser for the year. That's an Invest in Your Child program that we do. And we try to spare our parents having to sell wrapping paper and candy and hit up grandparents for sponsorships of a-thons, any kinds of a-thons, because we know that your students are in those organizations and you're doing this so many times over. So we try really hard to do as little of that as possible. Another emphasis that you guys are going to hear about tonight is inclusiveness. The PTA at Silver Springs is not about cliques, and it's not moms only. We actually have dads, we have grandparents, we have staff, and we have staff who aren't teachers. We have all different types of staff that participate in PTA. And the last thing that it isn't is pointless, boring meetings. We try really hard to offer additional benefits and enrichment to parents and give them something valuable and a reason to want to attend, besides voting on like what color crepe paper is going to decorate the dance. Not that those aren't important decisions, but we try to do things like book clubs, and we bring a guest speaker to every meeting. We try to have conversations and connection, because it's just so much more about that for parents. It's about serving parents in that way. So of course, preaching to the choir here, our Board of Education certainly knows that PTA really at the heart is about advocating for children and helping to make their educational experience as enriched as possible. The best way I could explain it is if Silver Springs and Northville Public Schools are like a 7-layer gourmet cake that you got from the fanciest bakery for your wedding, then the PTA is that buttercream frosting on top with sprinkles. So please know that this district is phenomenal. What your students get that's offered by the district already is everything they need for a fantastic education. But the PTA, like I said, is that icing on the cake, where extra fun events and in-school assemblies and after-school connection through trunk or treat and gal with a pal and daddy-daughter dance and things like that. So it's like that extra icing on the cake. And why is this important? There is an abundance of data that shows that students who are connected to their school environment have better outcomes. They do better academically, and they are more enriched all around. And like I said before, it's about the benefits for parents and staff. We're connecting, we're communicating through the PTA. We also work really hard to keep parents educated and informed. In this world of education, of information, we get about 1,000 emails a day. I have kids at 3 different schools. I've got one here at Silver Springs, one at the middle school, and one at the high school. I get about 100 emails a day on all of these different things. So the PTA seeks to consolidate that. We try to make a website, a one-stop shop for parents. Meetings are a way to get information. We try to boil it down so that we really can serve parents in that way. And then, of course, it's fun. And it's an opportunity for parents. The communication's two-way, so it's an opportunity for parents to have their voice be heard. PTA is actually one of the oldest and largest advocacy organizations in the country, and that's ultimately at the heart of what it is. It's about parents advocating for what they think is important for their kids. So this is a list of everything we do. I put it up there just to show, because the list in itself is a lot, and it really conveys the many number of things that we do. I'll talk quickly about some of them. We do tons of things for students. The PTA is behind the yearbook that the PTA produces and students design the cover for. We do school supplies through School Toolbox. We produce a student directory so that students, and there is an option to opt out, of course, for anyone who doesn't want to be included in it. But ultimately, it's a way for kids, we put this directory in the hands of the kids, to connect and find out, hey, I didn't realize that my 2nd grade buddy is actually also my neighbor. And for my birthday party and for meeting kids at the bus stop, the directory really helps connect kids outside of school. On the topic of spiritware, thank you so much. Patrick Rogers and his son are modeling some of our spiritware here. We've just kicked off a new spiritware campaign. And I know that Dr. Weber is a big time fan of wearing school spirit attire to everything. And he has t-shirts from every school. I don't know if you currently have a Silver Springs shirt, but you certainly don't have a brand new one.
And
so
I'm not making this up. I do have one in my car,
but
not this one. So thank you.
So we'll just need to get you a new pair of tennis shoes to match those, I think.
Go blue. Or green.
Yes, orange ones. I think blue and orange you'll need. So what, Dr. Weber, we can certainly swap size or taste, but we thought that one might fit you well. We do assemblies, so things that happen in school. We brought in Jim Basketball Jones last year. We bring in an author during March's Reading Month. Science Alive is a program where people bring in live animals into the classroom, and kids get to touch and play with and explore and learn directly through a hands-on science approach. Then we do tons of fun events outside of school. Skating nights. We have Breakfast with a Buddy, where students can bring in a parent or a special guest to have breakfast here at school. Trunk or Treat is actually coming up. We have it on October 20th. other events, we have Gal with a Pal, which is a dance that happens right here inside our building. We have Sun Plus One Fun, which was a bowling event last year, and Kona Ice, which is just a treat for kids at the end of the school year. PTA also sponsors a number of enrichment activities within the classroom. So Brain Pop is a online learning tool that PTA has paid for. So every teacher in every classroom can use this as a tool if they choose to. And then Scholastic News Magazine, we funded for the 5th grade social studies curriculum last year. Like I mentioned before, for parents, we try to offer as much as we can. Guest speakers at every meeting, a book club. Dad's Club is getting back on its feet after a small hiatus during the pandemic. And so we are super proud and excited that Dad's Club already has at least 30 dads signed up. Their first meeting's coming up October 11th. And one of the first things they're going to be working on is installing the new Gaga ball pit on the playground and also helping us enhance our trunk or treat event. I definitely talked about communication. I just can't really overstate it. It's one of the biggest and most important things that I think we do. PTA can do as much as we want, but we're spinning our wheels if the parents don't know about it. So we're making every effort. We built a website that, like I said, is a one-stop shop. Please follow us with our social media. You can actually pull out your smartphone right here and link right up with that QR code and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And then, of course, we have a weekly newsletter where we put announcements that way. We do as much as we can for teachers. We have a cookie buffet. We publish teachers' favorite lists so that parents can kind of have a sense of what's their teacher's favorite. You know, surprisingly, it's beyond an apple for the teacher. Teachers love Target, by the way. They also seem to love Diet Coke, we've learned, and chocolate. So that's important. And then we, of course, provide meals during conferences, fuel for teachers during those really, really long days where they are, you know, just so invested and dedicated to spending time with us to tell us about how our kids are doing. Teacher Appreciation Week in May is filled. It's a week filled with activities. We also do classroom stipends. So when teachers have these above and beyond ideas, they want to do oil pastels for this really cool project or this special theme to decorate their classroom so that it can be more organized for students. These kinds of things sometimes come out of teachers' pockets, and the PTA wants to help reimburse teachers for that. So we've developed a classroom stipend program. And we buy them the important things like floppy disks and trapper keepers and spell checks and scratch and sniff stickers. Okay, kidding. Scratch and sniff stickers. Yep.
Amazing.
1980s. Yes. So these are, this year everyone's getting 1980s themed school supplies. Just kidding.
That spell thing.
As I said before, Invest in Your Child is the one and done fundraiser that we do for the year. It's by popular demand. Parents seem to really prefer it. We just ask for a one-time donation, and then we don't ask you to go door to door again later in the year. Of course, it's optional, but it does help fund all of the many programs that I mentioned. And the last thing that I want to just mention is we get to do this really cool thing called birthday lunches, where parents who make a donation to the PTA get to come in and join their student for lunch on their birthday. And you can notice on your way through the hallway, we have special birthday tables, and it's a really special treat parents seem to enjoy, and it's a fundraiser, which is just very much win-win. The last thing I will say is our next PTA meeting is Wednesday, October 4th, so a week from tomorrow. Our first special featured guest is Dr. Weber, and he'll be talking with us about restorative practices and a number of other current initiatives in the district. But on that theme, we'll be having a circle conversation, sitting together rather than audience style, speaker audience style. And of course, on theme as well, we'll be having cider and donuts so that we can really facilitate that relationship building piece. So please join us. Everything, like I said, is on our website. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mom. That was a welcome clap. You're famous. Thanks, Mom. That was great. On this next slide, we have listed a few of those things that we are most proud about Silver Springs. These are the things that make us who we are. As you will see, all of these things are connected to our mission statement and to the legacy that we hope to leave in our community. We are a place that celebrates differences. We accept people for who they are and we celebrate them. We are respectful and responsible and leaders that work together to grow new leaders. It is always our goal to include everyone because all are welcome here. It feels like we are one big family. One of the other cool things about our school is that students are involved in the planning of events and we get to help make decisions at our school, like this presentation. We help decide what to include in the presentation and what to include on the slides. Now I would like to turn it over to Andrew to share more about what makes us us.
Thanks, Layla. Good evening. My name is Andrew Dart. I'm a fourth grade leader in Mrs. Murray's class. There are so many things that we wanted to share with you that makes Silver Springs unique. One of them is that we believe that there's always a reason for why we do things. We try to identify our big rocks, set goals, and work towards those goals. We also give everyone a second chance to show them our awesomeness and take on leadership roles right away. In fact, one of the students that applied for leadership jobs for tonight's presentation is a new student to Silver Springs that is already comfortable enough to be part of our presentation tonight. That's pretty awesome. Another great thing about our school is that we encourage each other to do our best and we give everyone a chance, and sometimes even a second and third. We do that because we know mistakes are a part of learning. Last, and maybe most importantly, the legacy that we are hoping to leave within our community is inclusiveness or creating a place where everyone feels like they belong. Next, Adam is going to share more about the Leader in Me Legacy Award.
Thanks, Andrew. Good evening. My name is Adam Berry, and I'm a fourth grade leader in Mrs. Salsa's class. Now, I would like to share with you more about the amazing Leader in Me Legacy Award that we received last year. Did you know that there are over 7,000 Leader in Me schools in the entire world? That's a lot. Of those 7,000 schools, about 700 of them are lighthouse schools. That's also a lot. And of those 700 lighthouse schools, there are only 14 legacy schools in the world, and we are so honored to be one of them. Tonight, I would like to share with you our path to legacy. It all started back in August of last year when Leader in Me reached out to Mrs. Booth to see if we might be interested in applying for the Legacy Award. Mrs. Booth asked all the teachers, and they thought that we were ready. Then we had to determine what we thought our legacy might be. Again, Mrs. Booth asked the teacher and the students, and our responses were all about belonging and inclusiveness. So off we went. Fast forward to March when Mrs. McCartan and Mrs. Summers came to visit Silver Springs. We wanted them to hear all about our schools, so we gave them a tour. We had one of our nest lessons that day. We had some breakout sessions to share about Pure Pals, our student lighthouse team, our quotes, and so much more. We even had former students come back from middle and high school to talk with them about the impact that Leader in Me and Silver Springs has had on their lives. You could see from the agenda that it was an amazing day. Next, we would like to share with you the video that Sean Colby shared with us about the award.
Hello, Silver Springs Elementary. This is Sean Covey, and I am the son of Dr. Stephen Covey and the author of The 7 Habits of Happy Kids. And I'm coming on camera today to congratulate Silver Springs Elementary in Northville, Michigan on becoming a Leader in Me legacy school. This is a really big deal, so congratulations to everyone there, Principal Katie Booth, your other administrators, your teachers, your parents, and your students, of course. We're so proud of you in this accomplishment. Let me tell you about what this means. Being a legacy school is a big deal because there are about 7,000 Leader in Me schools across the world in over 50 countries. And there are about 700 lighthouse schools, which is a high designation. But the legacy school is even a cut above. There are only 14 in the entire world, and you are now one of those 14, and you're the first legacy school in Michigan, the only legacy school in Michigan. So congratulations on this amazing award and accomplishment. To be a legacy school, you need to do 3 things. Number 1, you need to be a lighthouse school for at least 8 years. Number two, you need to make an innovative and a significant contribution in the area of leadership or growth in the area of leadership, culture, and academics. And third is that you have made a distinctive contribution, some thing that is helping the entire Leader in Me community. And you've done all three of those. So happy for you. The people that work with you from Franklin Covey and our coaches have told me about you. And they say, in particular, you are known for nest time, neighbors enthusiastically synergizing together. I think that's terrific. I love it, but it creates this cross grade level synergy to have a deeper understanding of leadership in the 7 habits and so forth. So that's tremendous. They also tell me that you're very good with the 4 disciplines of execution and that students track their progress using this. And they have leadership portfolios that are part of that. And that also you've garnered strong community support from parents for Leader in Me, which is a great thing. I know as well that last year you were part of our prestigious honor roll distinction for academic success in your school. That's a big deal. And then also you're very well known to be a school that is very inclusive of every student and all the family members, and you've created this great culture there at Silver Spring. So congratulations on being a legacy school. So proud of you. I hope to visit your school someday soon. And I want to wish you all my best. Bye-bye.
We are so honored to have received this award. Thank you to the Board of Education for your support of the Leader in Me. Next, we have 3 breakout sessions for you to learn more about some of those things that we shared during our legacy visit. We want to share more with you about our Peer Pal program, our Paw Patrol team that helps us with Jake, our therapy dog. And we want to share with you all about our singing titles that we create each year as a physical reminder of everything that has been a part of our amazing school. Then we will come back here for a student panel that can answer any questions that you may have.
We are going to break up into 3 groups. You should have already gotten a roller skate, a Rubik's Cube, or a boombox when you walked in. These will be your groups. You will go with this group to each of the breakout sessions. After that, we will return to the NPR for a follow-up conversation with the student panel where the board members will have the opportunity to ask questions of our student panel.
If you have a roller skate, please follow Izzy, Ryan, Amira, and Tadeo to the media center for your first breakout session.
You're gonna do a roller skate, sounds good.
Yep.
I'm back.
Oh, we all got boom boxes. These are the.
No, I got one
Oh, you got
as we
that.
came in.
Oh.
No, I haven't.
The three. Can I wait for them to stop chitter chattering? Should I wait for that to end?
They're not.
Okay, I just need Dr. Weber to get back in the seat,
Come here, sir.
safe and sound. Story doesn't die. I think he's A-okay. Welcome back. We hope that you enjoyed the breakout sessions. We would love to answer any questions that you have about anything that you have learned tonight or anything else you might like to know.
Any questions, board members?
So there's a lot of things I could ask about, but I'm really impressed with the school, about how well you guys, really focus on inclusiveness, right? How to find out those kids that maybe don't feel engaged and you reach out to them. So I kind of liked Peer Pals, and someone told me, and I don't know if this is true, you guys can tell me if this is true, but that Silver Springs actually started Peer Pals like 15 or 16 years ago, and you were the first school in the district. I remember my daughter was in Peer Pals at Thornton Creek, and I knew it didn't start at Thornton Creek, but I never knew where it started.
It did. I don't know if Mrs. Schulman is still here and Mrs. Silence. They started the Peer Pals program here, and they were both here tonight. Mrs. Silence was in the Peer Pals breakout session, and Mrs. Schulman was with the Paw Patrol. They were the two that started it here at Silver Springs.
Okay, so that's very cool. So tell me, you guys like to reach out. It seems like you're really excited to reach out to people, but why is it that it makes you guys feel so good? Why do you like to get involved? Why do you like to reach out?
Well, if we like to reach out to other people because maybe it could help them, or like just if someone's feeling excluded or like just feeling bad, then maybe you can have like empathy or sympathy for them and just help them. Like helping someone can always make a difference.
And we can help others if they don't have anybody to play at like recess or anything, but we can help others.
Yes.
Helping others makes us and them become better people in the future.
It helps people and it just makes us feel good helping other people because it kind of feels like we're a part, and the people that do these things kind of feel like they're a part of our community.
It's kind of funny. I was listening to some of you guys talk earlier, and that it seems like the people who volunteered to help other kids kind of were the happiest because they kind of felt good about giving to other kids. I really like that. Go ahead.
So one thing that I really like is how we get to do all of these fun activities to help all around like the PTA and like all the other schools, which also like includes a lot of people that like to help, and like we give a lot of students really opportunities to like show around and like just get to do the stuff that they really want to like meet their goals, which is like really nice because like people just are really like kind of pleased when like they just achieve their goals. So I think that's really nice.
I really love you guys. You guys are really cool. And I think it's kind of sneaky though, but in the process of doing Peer Pals and working with other people, you guys are learning something too at the same time. So it's kind of a win-win for everyone. Way to go.
I have a question. So for all 27 volunteers, first of all, I want to thank you all for volunteering to be student leaders like you are. I mean, you're Peer Patrol, right? Buddy Bench, Paw Patrol, Sunshine Kids. You're already busy students every day with homework and tests and all that sort of thing, but it's really great to see that you've all kind of stepped up and to do a little bit more for kids in your classes. My question for you all is, by show of hands, who would recommend to their classmates or to their siblings to also, volunteer for a presentation like this, or to be a Sunshine Kid or on Paw Patrol, who would recommend to their sibling or a friend in their class to volunteer in the same way that you guys have? Not everybody. All right.
I love
Well, that's
the
great.
honesty, right?
You were courageous. You stepped out there and tried something, whether you think you'll do it again or not. You stepped out there in faith to take on a new job. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, Sarah.
Everyone, if you've ever been to one of these board meetings in the last 10 years-ish, I've spoken from the heart about how special this school is to me, and really, this is the home school for my kids, and it will always be my home school. And it's a very, very special place. So for the parents and kiddos, a board member like a mom has to love all her kids equally. But there's always your first baby, right? So I just want to thank you for having us and for being such a special place. And for the kids, I would love to know, we only come here once a year. This board only comes and we pay special attention to Silver Springs one time a year. And I'm curious what you might like us to know or think is most important to you about Silver Springs that we haven't talked about maybe in a breakout session yet, or that you haven't gotten to share. Is there anything you think the Board of Education should know about your school or your experience here?
So what I think's a lot of part is just the inclusiveness. Like first day of kindergarten, when I didn't know what the school was like, nothing. Miss Bryan really helped us out too, and I made friends on the first day, and it was just really like welcoming, even though I was never there, like I'd never been here before, and just like how we learn a lot, but we also have fun doing it. So it's just not like homework, homework, homework. It's like active. Like it's not like a teacher just handing you a packet and say, "Come on, do this." It's active. Like people help. Like it's like active. Like Miss Moncrief, my teacher right now, what she does is she like so what she does for math. Like we write stuff in our notebook, but we also it's kind of like Miss Moncrief also does like deaf learning, like active to help like participate more and basically just helping us all out. Like people who like she like when we're like working together table group, she walks around, says, "What do you guys think?" And just asks. Like if there's a disagreement at the table, Miss Moncrief always helps and just says how to fix it. Like my table, we were discussing on this one problem, and Miss Moncrief helped us fix it.
I really love Silver Springs. I love the principals. I love the teachers, and so that's why I signed up for this board meeting because I really wanted to help it become a better place. And even though it got a legacy award that's like the best of the best, I wanted it to be safer and kinder. And I just really wanted to help out. So there's something that, of course, people know, but it's not talked about that much. And how these teachers are some of the most understanding and respectful teachers that you'll probably ever meet. Like, if I came here in third grade not knowing anyone, but Miss Cox was so nice and she helped introduce me to everyone. And she was so welcoming. And that's just really what you want if you're new, or even going into a new class at the beginning of the year. They are so nice and they help you through anything that you need help.
So I agree with the lady. That's like, I also came here in third grade, which Miss Cox also like welcomed me to all of the people and all of the teachers, which helped me a lot. And now from like all the ESL classes and all of the extra classes that I took, now I'm like all rid of them, and like I'm all free now. And I also want all of you to know that like we're always like welcoming everyone from wherever they're coming, which is really good.
Silver Springs teachers are amazing because they help you out whenever you need help. And when we first got the Legacy Award, everyone was happy. And not only were they happy, they were amazed because they didn't think we were going to get it. And not bullying people is a big part of Silver Springs because everyone wants to be feel welcome. You're doing great. And we accept people from different places of the world. Even if they don't speak our language, we still help them. Thank you, AJ. That was amazing.
So at Silver Springs, like, for example, if you're like new to the school, then that doesn't mean you're not allowed to like join anything or some of the fun groups that we have here at Silver Springs. Like if you come to the school, then you're a part of the family. So then yeah, you can sign up. Like even if I was new to the school, like I could sign up to do a lot of the important things, and kind of help me, have better friends at Silver Springs.
Any other questions?
I have a really quick question, maybe, just a show of hands. How many of you last year signed up to go have a session with Jake the therapy dog?
How many of you had Jake the therapy dog visit your classroom last year?
Awesome. And are you guys excited to see that continue and happen again this year? Yeah? Awesome.
And I'd just like to say thank you to Miss Cox, who's right back there. Every month in our team, we teach in classrooms, and Miss Cox was my first classroom I got to teach in here at Silver Springs. And this really is a building of firsts for me, at least, because the next thing we're going to do, who was in Miss Cox's classroom last year? Right. We don't have to talk about how I did. It was my first one. It was elementary, so you handled it well and you put up with me well. But Silver Springs is also a place that we started a tradition last year that I personally really love. And what I'm going to ask is for all of the students and their parents, if you would come and please stand behind our Board of Education. And I would like our team, our Colt team, yes, Steve Banchero, even you. I'd like you to come up here and get in a big picture to celebrate this night. Yeah.
Any other comments? I do just want to say, just in closing here, before we let folks come up for pictures, that it really is, the gentleman in the video said, a big deal for you to have won this award. I mean, you are the only school in Michigan, if I'm getting the statistics right, to have been awarded that. You're one of 14 legacy schools in the world. That's really remarkable. So many other things that you're doing. I think 16 years of peer pals. That's pretty cool. It's no surprise to me or any of us that you've been awarded that award. I feel the inclusiveness here tonight. It's a very inclusive environment. The 80s theme has made me feel really welcome. That's my favorite decade. I hope you have all learned about what a special decade that is. And I also want to give a shout out to whoever is in charge of sound effects here for pumping in the Darth Vader breathing. There it is. So thanks to whoever did that. But great job, kids. Thank you so much.
And teachers, Mrs. Tackett, Mrs. Schulman, Ms. Cox, Mrs. Murray, Mrs. South, you helped with this. You come up here too, please.
What is that noise?
Something sounds, I have no idea, but it does sound like that. It's the snake or something. I don't know.
It almost sounds like someone's blowing up. Oh yeah, maybe balloons or.
Help from the back. Youngsters find the board members and between them.
Come on in.
Fill in. Fill in.
Come on in.
Come on in. Come on in.
Hi, I love your rocking hair.
Don't be shy.
We've got room over here. Wow, the whole trip.
And board members only bite on Thursdays, and it's not a Thursday. It's not a Thursday.
Yeah, why not?
I think he's standing way down here. So
Room on this. Right in.
you want to come up here and come lean in?
There you go.
You make us look
They can
good?
see the camera. They can see, right? Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll put in a plug for President Wilson's Facebook page. So look for that as well. Thank you all.
Thank you. Way to go.
Good job. See you guys later.
Good job. Good job. Who's your mom up there? Yep, I saw. I know her. Good job. There you go. That was the one. That was the one. Absolutely.
Our birthday lunch is like that.
No, the other one.
I'll probably focus on.
Oh, Lord.
I
Love
have
it.
my state dues by the end of September. So give me like 3 more days.
Yeah, good to see you.
No, we were really good.
I was kind of cool class if I go.
For on the first day of
Are you
school,
good taking this?
we
Presenting.
we do our
That's you.
annual meeting like right after drop off on the first day. And we normally have like
Before that.
wow.
Yeah, you're just placed to have her.
Copies of the agenda because I was like ambitious, so ambitious. We had like 35 people on the first during the day. I couldn't believe it.
We'll see you
so much.
Wednesday.
I will see Wednesday.
And thanks so much for the opportunity to talk about community building, being in a circle. It's gonna be fun.
I'm
Of course.
really excited.
Of course.
We will,
I love that. I have another one. It's a different design, so it's perfect. I have now
the upgraded new design.
I
So you
love
don't
it.
want to like wear an old design. You would want to wear the new design.
I want to be fashionable.
Just kidding. No, wear it all. But truly fits, size, style, whatever. We can chat. And
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
He looks just like he used to look.
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
He does actually. I saw the thing. I'm like, I know it. And I reached out. I'm like,
That's awesome.
Hey, these are great.
Yeah, no, I have stories that, yeah.
grow up.
That's right. Well, what's your name?
Nice job, Quinn. Nice job.
Quinn, you did a great job tonight.
did a great job.
Thank you for helping us feel included. Quinn.
Thank you, Corey. Yeah. Same dorm, and somehow we
You are
found each other. No, we worked in addition in the cafeteria.
Oh, yeah, right. Everybody's
He
got
was
to
in
do that.
addition. Yeah.
Totally works.
Yeah. Yeah. The Hobart.
The whole world.
Yeah. That's right.
He's like.
Well, thank you so much. That brings us to number 9 on our agenda tonight, our first opportunity, I believe, of 2 for public comment. I do have 3 individuals who would like to make comment. I'll give you a few ground rules. 1, you're each allowed 3 minutes. We do sort of hold you to that. So 3 minutes. You can talk about whatever you want. Don't think of it as sort of a dialogue. It's more for you to let us know about an issue that's on your mind, but we won't necessarily respond tonight. Although we will, if necessary, figure out the best way to respond to you, whether it's by email or a phone call or follow up by way of anybody else on the board or on the Colt team. Any other preliminaries, ground rules? All right, I will go in order of the cards that I have in my hand here, and I will ask Ms. Mabry to come up, please. And if you would, just for our benefit, even though some of us may or may not know you, if you could just give sort of a brief 10 seconds on your connection to the district, if you don't mind.
Hello, here I am again. My name is Jenna Mabry. Jenna, for those of you who may not remember. I have a daughter at Winchester. She's in second grade, and I have a little 4-year-old who's home with hand, foot, mouth that he got from OBS. Thank you, OBS. I am here about the class sizes. I know you're all surprised. First, I do want to say I appreciate every single one of you. All of your hard work and dedication. I feel it. I know it. Thank you. I've been having meetings with a lot of the administration. I appreciate your honesty and transparency and kindness. I got to meet the very famous Mr. Mike Zoff, who is, I've been told, is the nicest person, and that is correct. So official in the public record. I am here on behalf of over 70 parents at Winchester who are concerned about the class sizes. So even though I do appreciate everything you do, I am disappointed that class sizes are just as large this year as they were last year. And I do want to go over some of the comments with you that some of the parents have made, because I am their wonderful representative. The first thing is a lot of people are saying they felt very heard during the Board of Education meetings, but we didn't hear anything back, so we were shocked when we came into open house. Class sizes were just as large, so we felt ignored and frankly a little disrespected that there's no heads up or anything. Someone said, I know many families choose Winchester over their home school. I know of at least 2 families in second grade who should go to Silver Springs. They chose Winchester just because they liked it better. Maybe the board should rethink their policy with the willy-nilly school of choice policy. Another comment is, while I have so much trust and faith in our Winchester teachers, it isn't right for them or our kids to be put in these positions with such large class sizes, or in my 5th grader's case, a combination with 4th graders. Our kids and teachers deserve better than this. We moved to Northville because the world-class education, I expect more from our district school board supporting our students and teachers. Another comment is, after writing a supportive letter to the superintendent, Ms. Lindsay, last year, now we're placed in a 24-child split class for 5th grade. This is really disappointing outcome. I think we need to clarify going forward that the split classes are not what we want. Honestly, I feel like we got punished for writing a letter. And finally, I have had a comment from a parent who's considering moving their children out of the public schools to private for the smaller class sizes. So I just want to give you a heads up of what just the second grade families are feeling. I haven't reached out to the first or kindergarten who also have large class sizes, but I want to let you know, thank you for everything you do. I just want to bring it to your attention. I'd love to see the class sizes smaller. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That brings us to our second card of the evening, Mr. Dunn, Joe Dunn.
Good evening. My name is Joe Dunn. I spoke last April. I have a daughter at Winchester in second grade. I have 2 more that will be Winchester students eventually. We came here in April. In April, we talked a little bit about a couple of points that we see out there. First, numerous other states are passing class size mandates by law, right? Mandating that class size be 18 or 20. So we know it's possible. I also brought to the board's attention research referred to as the STAR study. And what this study shows is that class size really does matter. And most importantly, and why we're here and we'll be here again and again until we see relief, is that, even a reduction of 3 or 4 students per class, particularly in K through 2, can lead to dramatically better outcomes later in life. College admission measurably higher if class size is reduced by 3 to 4. If you haven't read the study, I encourage you to do so. We sent you a letter today. I'm just going to walk through some of the facts that we've established that exist. They're highlighted in the letter, and we sent it to you this evening, so sorry for the short notice, but this is penned by us on behalf of 70 other families. First and foremost, I want you guys to look at the STAR study and some of the follow-up studies and the research that establishes that K through 2, in fact, makes the hugest difference. Dr. Weber himself has published research on this topic. We also have a general agreed understanding that split classes, they're not a desired outcome, right? That's something that is occasionally occurring to make ends meet, but not the desired outcome here. There was an acknowledgement that to provide relief across the district, we need almost as many as 18, which shows that this really isn't a small problem that can continue to be ignored. Look, we're all here in good faith, right? We're bringing facts and data to you. Nobody's being called on you, but we're not going to understand in return that the district and the board will not retaliate. Sorry, it looks like a police round.
We didn't cut you off. No, battery.
Okay, so yeah, to be clear, we're here in good faith. We understand the district is as well, and nobody's been retaliated against. Now, I know you heard some people are concerned about that, but we take at face value that the board hasn't done that and wouldn't do that. We also understand there are a lot of headwinds coming at the board in terms of fluctuations in budget, negotiations, et cetera. But, you know, we look very carefully at the budget, and I think your back is I'm not going to see my time. So look, I went through the budget proposal. One of the things that really made me sad was class size didn't make the watch list. There was no budget workup proposal to provide class size relief, which tells me while the board placated us, there was not careful consideration given, and we demand it. What we see when we look at the budget is that our funding in the general fund is at approximately $26.8 million. We understand best practice in this space is that the budget, the rainy day fund be somewhere between 15 and 20%. And that's not me, that's best practices in the Michigan guides for administration. That means there's somewhere between 7.56 and 12.4 million available this year to spend. And we understand that funding from the state is at the highest levels ever. So we have a very simple question. If we're not doing something now, when? Right? We know there's opportunity, and the board has to recognize that it's made a choice to leave class size larger and not provide the relief that the families are asking. So I appreciate your time. Happy to discuss further. Happy to meet with any or all of you, however you see fit, and would hope that we're heard. Thank you very much.
Thank you
so much, Mr. Dunn. That brings us to Mr. Alvarez. Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Well noted. So any other cards or public comment tonight? Okay, so that concludes our first of two, like I said, opportunities for public comment tonight. And that brings us to number 13 on our agenda. I think it said, oh no, I'm sorry.
10.
Number 10 on our agenda are bid awards. I'll turn it over to our treasurer, Ms. McIntyre, please.
Okay, I'd like to bring forth motion 25 that the board authorize the administration to award contracts for A, stadium bleacher replacement and paving phase 2 totaling $168,409 funded through bond 2023. B, Cook School HVAC improvements totaling $840,802 funded through Wayne Risa and NHS HVAC improvements totaling $202,000 and $80 funded through bond 2023. And C, Moraine Elementary drainage improvements totaling $364,000 funded through bond 2023.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by our treasurer, Ms. McIntyre, and supported by Dr. Campbell-Voitel. Any discussion on these items?
We talked about it in our finance subcommittee meeting in the past few weeks, and really it's bringing forth some additional projects that need to be addressed in part of all three of these projects.
So not a long comment, but because of the public comment we had, I will just say, these are big numbers. We can't pay, I think you know that we can't do operating. We can't go to the public for more operating money. Like we can go to the public for bonding capacity. So capital improvements like this, when we pass them, they're coming out of, and that's why each one will say funded through this, funded through that, so that we know it's not coming out of the fund balance. An idea that I think could be pursued would be, I think the township and the city can go to the public for bonding capacity for operations, unlike a school. We could shift, if they would do that, we could shift SRO, which are school resource officers, to a publicly funded bond initiative and move that money into teachers and counselors. It's just one idea, but some of the things that the board faces are beyond us. Some of them are in our control, some of them are not. But I would love to see that happen as just one concrete step to put that into a big publicly financed thing instead of coming out of school amounts, and we could get some teachers with that. So just one note.
Excellent. Any other questions, comments?
I guess it's not a question, but a comment about the Moraine Elementary drainage improvements. Miss Prescott, this is her home school. Moraine is my home school, and I'm very excited. That is a very needed improvement. So I'm happy to see that coming to fruition. And I'm sure the neighbors around Moraine whose yards get flooded are going to be really excited about that too. So thank you.
Excellent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the bid awards passed. Thank you so much, Ms. McIntyre. That brings us to number 11 on our agenda. Are there any added agenda items?
There are none.
We have none. That brings us to number 12 on our agenda, our second of two opportunities for public comment. Going once, going twice. That concludes public comment. Thank you so much. That brings us to number 13, questions, comments from board members. Do we have any?
I just wanted to make a comment, along with what Dr. Weber said earlier about how the wonderful principals, and apparently October is Principal Appreciation Month. Today, Mr. Koski at the high school every month hosts a coffee chat. And today, when he had that coffee chat, we had the circle. We practiced community building as parents, and that is how he ran the coffee chat meeting. And it was wonderful because I think it really brought home what we're trying to do throughout the district. And when we do this and we talk about it at the board, we're thinking about it at the classroom level or at the building level with staff, which is wonderful. And it was really great to have that be extended to parents and to be able to experience that firsthand. He did a wonderful job facilitating that. And I think it hopefully will make parents feel more comfortable and wanting to come. I mean, usually, to be honest, it's mostly senior parents asking about college applications. But, it was a really great way. And he did various ways. He did it. What did he call it? Non sequitur, where they threw the ball around, and if you wanted to participate, and then he did one where he passed it around, and it was kind of encouraged that everyone did. It was really well facilitated, and it was just a small glimpse of what I hope our students are experiencing in their classrooms.
Well, Trustee Meyer, you just made my night, and I'm sure I saw Rebecca's beaming smile across the room. When we did the color run, I circled everybody up just kind of on the spur to try to express that building of community. And that's really what it is. In the fact that our high school principal, who leads a small city, more kids in that building than the town I grew up in, took the time to do it that way, and that it had that impact on you. So thank you for sharing that with us. Rebecca, is there anything you'd like to say? Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
No, thanks to Mr. Koski, honestly.
So Parks and Rec meeting is tomorrow. I'll be attending that. We are going to be reviewing the contract with the Cricket League. So assuming it passes, and I have no guarantee it will, but assuming that goes through, Mike, we'll probably start to get an understanding of when their events are, and we can work with you to make sure that parking, because of the high school. Other comment, the skate park is on track. It's going to be done in 2 phases. The main skate park now, and assuming no crazy weather happens, about mid-November, it will be complete. But the entranceway will be done next April. So it'll be a phase 1, phase 2. So the park will be complete, but the actual entrance will be there. And just a joke for Mr. Banchero, not a joke, but something you'll appreciate. As I went through the analysis, they missed the boring. Turned out the water table is a lot higher than they thought. And so literally the entire skate park had to be moved about 35 feet over east because of a boring issue. Now, for those on the finance committee, you'll realize paying upfront and doing the soil borings and checking what's underneath there and making sure in the right spot is a really big deal, and it's really important. So just a side comment, it happens both at the district, but it also happened at Parks and Rec. So I'll send you some pictures of whatever once I get the package.
And that's where contingencies also come into
Yes.
play, right? That
Yeah, that's where contingency comes into play.
And Mr. Mazurk, Trustee Mazurk, thank you for being on that. Parks and Rec, we actually had a video shoot yesterday, a small part of it out at Legacy Park and the project that they're working on out there. And two of our mountain bike team members came out there because they're looking at trail building and so on. And before the film people got there or whatever, I went out there to kind of welcome the kids and get it moving. And I did do a lap on because I had to test out the thing. I took my bike. And I gave maybe a 90-second thumbnail to these two young boys about the vision for this and what they're doing and why it's important. And when they started rolling the film, I just sat back in awe. They took it for 10 minutes and explain why having these type of things are really good, whether it's a skate park or trails, but having our kids have that authentic voice in their Mustang mountain bike jerseys and knowing that a video will be going out with them in it. We'll make sure to get that to the board team once that comes out.
Excellent. Go ahead, Kim. Yeah.
Well, for the purpose of just kind of embracing the community and what the work of the board has been focused on in the last couple of sessions, we have had the opportunity to take a look with the leadership of the district at our district goals document. And, we are really guided for 5 years from 2020 to 2025 by a strategic plan. So there's quite a deliberate document that focuses the work of the entire district, but particularly around students and academic achievement. And I know that families have said to me, well, I've never seen this. I don't know how to find it. So I just wanted to say in a public forum that if you go to the homepage of the district website and click on the transparency reporting button, Aaron, you're going to look at me if I get this wrong. You're going to correct me. But there you will find, I just looked at it today, our district goals for 2022 and 23, which we just finished really looking at our progress and meeting our targets under each of those goals, and the end of the year reporting as of June 13th in those areas. Is that it? Am I speaking accurately? All the way at the bottom. So you've got to scroll all the way to the bottom and you can see those documents. And those are seminal guidance for us as a board, but also for the district as a whole, and gives you an idea of the broad scope of work that is being undertaken to help your kids be successful. And I think every parent should probably take a minute to look at that. So that's where you find it. And I just wanted to make sure we spoke to that.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, that brings us to number 14 on our agenda, our motion for closed session, and I will hand it over to Ms. Prescott, and then I'll give a little statement about what that means and what you can expect the rest of the night.
So it's motion 26. I would move that the board move to convene in closed session pursuant to Public Act 267, Section 8H, to consider written opinion of legal counsel as presented.
Support.
So I have a motion properly presented by Ms. Prescott and supported by Ms. Stewart. Any discussion before we take a roll call vote on this?
Nope.
All right. Dr. Campbell-Voitel, please.
Do that. McIntyre,
yes.
Mazurk,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Prescott.
Yes.
Campbell-Voitel is a yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So that motion passes, and that means we will be convening in closed session. While we will, as it says here on the agenda, be coming back to adjourn, we will not be discussing anything substantive when we come back. And I don't know when that will be. It could be an hour, it could be 2, it could be 30 minutes. I really don't know. But the point is, while you're welcome to stay around and wait for us to adjourn, it really will be just a matter of a simple adjournment without any sort of substantive conversation or any substantive agenda items.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move to session at 8:39.
Did you get my email about